Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the stock market day video. Today we'll be looking at technical analysis on QQQ as well as the 7 med cap techs: Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. So we'll be looking at their support resistance levels so that we can better gauge where the market QQQ is going to be heading into. And QQQ will be leading SPY. So let's take a look at Qs. So we're on the Qs on the 4-hour time frame, and currently I made a video over the weekend saying as long as bulls are still holding the 4-hour EMA 12, which is the exponential moving average 12, type that in, which is the teal looking line, then bulls are okay, pretty much in full control and nothing to worry about at this given moment. Obviously, it doesn't mean that something can happen very soon. You can see we bounce, 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 bounce again today. And currently, we did peak above, slightly higher this morning, right? Breaking above yesterday's high and lacking a little bit follow through here. So that may be the first tiny sign where we may start to top out, right? The next time I'm looking at, if we're topping out, is to break this exponential moving average 12, and then pretty much just breaking this kind of mini consolidation that we had for the last couple of days on the side. That means we'll have daily consolidation, right? If that happens, we zoom out to the daily charts, and then we'll have daily consolidation happening, which it's pretty reasonable to have daily consolidation, right? After let's see how many days move we had. The last daily consolidation we had is all the way down here, right? And you can see it's pretty much just a stair step up, and we haven't had any consolidation after this move, this pullback right there. That's it. And it's just straight up, right? So, getting a slight pullback and daily consolidation, pretty reasonable here. I'm not expecting us to just, straight shot up and keep going into all-time highs without any consolidation. So, or we consolidate through time, right? We form something like a sideways range here. Either way, we probably did a little bit due on daily consolidation at this moment. And we can have another leg up, and then we come back. But somewhere around this range, we probably going to have some daily consolidation. Yeah, but as long as keep things simple here, so as long as 4-hour EMA 12 is still holding a support, bulls are in absolute full bull control. And you guys can see we pretty much testing this structure, right? Very clear structure here, pretty much acting as resistance at right there at this moment around this 485 zone. And we'll see if tomorrow the bulls can break today's high. If it breaks today's high, there's no red flags. We're probably gonna come up to closer to this 486 zone if we break today's high. And you can see there's not a lot of volume here, right? So there's volume gap. If we break and we start breaking 487, then it'll be pretty easy for bulls to come up to like this 490 zone, which is this last structure, the all-time high structure, right? And so there's a little bit of volume gap here, which will be easy for bulls to break if we start breaking top of this structure. But if they reject it tomorrow and then roll over, breaking that EMA 4-hour EMA 12, then daily consolidation is likely on its way. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But as of now, like I said over the weekend and last weekend and the weekend before, don't fight the bulls while it's trending. As long as 4-hour uptrend is intact, 1-hour uptrend is intact, and 4-hour EMA 12 is holding, just let the bulls play out. It doesn't always play out like this. You guys can see, right? 4-hour EMA 12 doesn't always bounce off of it. You only use it when it's not. You see, this is not useful when it's there. But when you can see it's bouncing literally every single time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then just keep it simple. Let it ride. And once it breaks, then you stop out or you start to look for another setup. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, let's see here. Looking okay as well. I mean, Q's have been up for like 9 days, so I hope Tesla has bounced as well. So you can see after talked about this on the weekend as well. 4-hour EMA 12 as well, holding pretty darn good. You can see after this chop, and then we break out from our back test this prior resistance back test, now acting as support. Big bounce off of that. Ever since then, for our EMA 12 bounce, 4 times today, and it's currently holding as well. But if the Q starts to consolidate on the daily, then Tesla may confirm a far downtrend as well, and breaking that EMA 12 on the flower. That's starting to be a red flag, slight red flag for me if that does happen, because you can see we barely retraced this entire drop. For the daily time frame, yeah. So you can see Tesla already started its daily consolidation. Consolidation just means that the candle's low is below yesterday's low. So you can see we're already below yesterday's low and started daily consolidation, while the Qs haven't. So Qs are lows still higher than yesterday's low. So that means Tesla is relative weakness for the last 2 days. Yeah, for yesterday, but today is pretty even, I would say. So clear resistance up here, right? That's why relative weakness switches to relative strength. Relative strength switches to relative weakness when they hit resistance or support. So clear resistance level around this 230 zone, which does make sense. It's just this cluster before we broke down. And so the question is, can the overall market hold itself up while overall? And when we do get a pullback on the Qs, how much of a pullback is Tesla going to pull back? Is it going to become relative weakness, pull back much more than the Qs, or it's going to be relative strength? As of now, this is shaping up to potential to have a 4-hour downtrend if the Qs do pull back tomorrow. So it's a little bit relative weaker overall than the market. Not too much weaker, but slightly weaker. All right, and you can see Meta. This is what we call relative strength. Meta is already close to all-time highs, which pretty much is at all-time highs. Well, just tiny bit under it. Meanwhile, Qs itself is not even close to all-time highs. So this is what we call relative strength. And triple top rejection today, very clear. I mean, we rejected right there last Thursday from this all-time high. Pretty much resistant again today, again slightly today. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be, big pullback after this, but you can see we just peaked above it as well. Same thing, hit right the same spot at this 540 zone, and then came back. There's still a chance we can retest it again tomorrow because we are still in striking distance. It's not like we tanked all the way, closed all the way down back here or something. Just a slight pullback and closed pretty near it. So there's still a chance we may test tomorrow. If we do see Meta break out and then break about this all-time highs range, and have like a 4 or 5% move, then the Qs are probably going to head higher after that. Given that obviously these other guys follow as well. And so let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon, pretty similar idea. 4-hour EMA 12, keep things simple. If it's clear, keep things simple. 4-hour bounce, 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 6 times, and currently similar idea of Qs, just a slight upper wick here, right? That's not a major red flag or anything, but if we start seeing it break down through 4-hour EMA 12 with a upper wick like that, then maybe daily consolidation is on its way, right? Which does make sense, right? This upper wick was pretty much testing this structure, back testing that resistance. So to reject it the first time is pretty normal for me. But as long as we're still holding, bouncing off the EMA 12, you may retest it. So no big deal yet. You can see all these volumes traded in this zone. There's gonna be a lot of resistance here for sure coming up. So we are seeing a lot of mega cap techs right under resistance. So that's why Qs have been slowing down for the last couple of days. And Google's the absolute weakest due to its news. So still being weak, but yeah. Talked about this daily EMA 12, which on the daily time frame, which was acting resistance, resistance, and resistance. We finally got above it, right? Now we just back tested it. See, got above it, back test. So far is holding. So that's a good sign for the bulls as long as it back tests, right? Prior resistance, now acting as support. We start bouncing back up again and continuation of the daily uptrend, then that's a good sign for Google. But if we start breaking back below it again, then that's a red flag because we just broke above it. It's the last thing we want to see. So if Google can hold this EMA and bounce, that's going to be a plus for the Qs, and it's going to help Qs as well. But if we break below the EMA, it's going to be a negative. So we'll see. And then Microsoft here, let's see. Not sure why it's dropping after hours. Probably some news. But zoom out to the 4 hours. So Microsoft looks like it broke its 4-hour EMA 12 after hours. You can see it was trending on it as well. Bounce, bounce, bounce 3 times. Bounce over here as well. Bounce over there again. Bounce today. But it looks like it broke it after hours. Haven't checked the news yet, but this looks like a small 4-hour downtrend. You can see we bounce, and this pivot is higher than the prior candle, so that's a pivot, and it broke to a lower low. So we'll see if we get follow through tomorrow. Sometimes these after-hour price action isn't as prominent for me because of lack of volume. Lack of volume is always very important in these charts. So when there's lack of volume, it's less conviction for me overall. But we might form some kind of a head and shoulders here, right? But we'll see. Now it's back above it. So after hours is not as important for me overall. And let's go to the daily time frame here, see any red flags or not. Nope. Still looking okay. As long as daily uptrend still intact, no signs of red flags for me. And so overall, Microsoft, we're just pretty much testing this resistance, this wall right here at around this 426 zone. See, rejection, 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 like 6 times over here. And it was this prior high as well, where we dropped from that Thursday. So we get over that, we're likely come up to test this 433, 432, sorry. And then that means the Qs will have a lot more upside as well. But even if we get some kind of a pullback on daily consolidation, right? Just a slight red day, 1 day or 2 days, no big deal for me either. So as long as the trend is intact, don't fight the trend. Apple slightly just chilling, right? After such a big move. No huge red flags either. Still holding the Ferrari EMA 12, even after such a big move, right? Apple was relative strength overall from the market. When it dropped, it barely dropped. And then it's pretty much reached 14%. And no signs of red flags. Keep things simple. 4-hour EMA 12 as well. Don't fight the bulls, right? If you see all these guys, all these 7-cap mega cap tech 7s are all holding well and no signs of red flags, then Qs are likely not going to just roll over all of a sudden randomly. But these guys, start to take a little bit of breather, and just consolidate a little bit, then we might get some kind of daily consolidation overall on the market for the Qs. Yeah, daily chart just looks like straight full bull control, nothing. Today is like the first 0.05 red day. Other than that, you can see there's not a single red day for Apple on this bounce. But you may get some kind of a big equilibrium, but I don't think so unless the market starts to roll over to get that tiny big equilibrium. But for now, we have no signs of that yet because we don't even have like an hourly pullback or something. And Nvidia. So Nvidia is really clear resistance here, right? Resistance, resistance, and it was 2 touches before. We just draw it for a visual guide, and now we actually have a 3 touch, and actually a slightly 4 touch too as well. So super clear resistance on Nvidia because it has earnings next week on 28, I think. So we're probably not going to just break out and go all the way like that right when earnings is about to come up, right? So market participants going to be a little bit wary to see what Nvidia are going to do. So you're probably going to go either sideways or slightly pull back a little bit around this range before that earning comes. Maybe it'll go up, break out a little bit if market starts still ripping. The Qs are ripping really hard. It'll just pull Nvidia up as well with it. But overall, similar idea. 4-hour EMA 12 full bull control. Bounce off of it here, bounce off of here, bounce off of here, bounce off of it again here. And if we start breaking that 4-hour EMA 12 and roll over, that's a 4-hour downtrend. and we may get a little bit pullback on the market as well together, if that happens, because Nvidia is the semiconductor sector, and semiconductor sector has a lot of weightings in it as well, so which may drag down QQ a little bit if that does happen. So we'll keep an eye and watch if this resistance is going to hold tomorrow, because we're literally just around it. So it could be breakout as well. If it breaks out, right, market's going to definitely head higher. And so keep an eye watching that. So yeah, continue to not fight the market or fight the trend. If it's in downtrend, right, just play with the downtrend. If it's an uptrend, play with the uptrend. Keep things simple, and make sure you set your stop losses as well. And I will see you guys on the weekend for more commodities update as well as the stock market update. And feel free to comment below if you guys have any questions. And check out the YouTube and the Patreon links. Support the channel or mentorship, all that stuff. And I will see you guys over the weekend. Have a great rest of you guys' week.